Nintendo released the SNES Classic Mini in September 2017 with a variety of games from this classic console. However, there was one exception in the games: Star Fox 2. A game that we previously made a video about, as it never made it onto the market. But now, it suddenly got released. Why would Nintendo do that? Thinking about it, it might seem like a marketing strategy at first, but there's probably more than meets the eye. But let's talk about Star Fox 2 first. It is meant to be a sequel to the game Star Fox, which released for the SNES in 1993. Unlike its predecessor, it doesn't completely revolve around linear levels and features an all-range mode and a walker to walk around on the ground. It also has a character select screen, which means you can select one of the 6 characters to play as. So you're not bound to only playing Fox McCloud. The title was meant to be released in 1996, but was cancelled in 1995, shortly before its intended release, as Nintendo didn't want to deliver outdated 3D graphics due to the PlayStation's recent launch. However, despite Nintendo cancelling the title's release, they kept on working on the title up to its completion. In 1999, a ROM site for dumped ROMs removed Star Fox 2 from their list, meaning that they had gotten their hands on a build of the game. However, this build was apparently from an even earlier stage than the build that Nintendo showed off at their Consumer Electronics Show in 1995. It's unknown how they got their hands on it, but this was the first time the game was actually leaked. It was fairly unplayable and had a lot of bugs. But it featured the split-screen multiplayer mode that Nintendo intended for the game originally. The hardware suffered from this, and thus it got removed. In 2002, screenshots surfaced on a German website that was originally not even intended for games or ROMs. In 2004, the build was finally leaked by a group of hackers that went through all the hassle to fix the biggest bugs the game had and re-released it to the public. The game was now playable, but still really buggy. But why does this matter?
Well, Nintendo only publicly kept quiet about Star Fox 2. Internally, it was used as a reference. It was used and handed over to other game developers who happened to work on Star Fox games. The finished build was even used for reference points of the development of Star Fox Command, a game that was released for the Nintendo DS in 2006. Even though this is 12 years in the past, this is still an important point, as this was the last Star Fox title that was not developed by Nintendo themselves. Star Fox Zero is mostly developed by Platinum Games, but was under the direction of Shigeru Miyamoto. 11 years after this build is basically gone and used internally, Nintendo decided to release it to the public. A game that served as a reference point for several Star Fox games that were released after this suddenly got released to the public. A game that was held precious by Nintendo for future Star Fox titles, that included several mechanics that were unique to this title and never introduced in another Star Fox game, suddenly got released. A PR move? Well, maybe, but not primarily. Over time, the Star Fox series turned out to be the worst-selling Nintendo franchise on the market. While Star Fox 64 sold roughly 4 million units worldwide, it dropped rapidly with every upcoming release. This got so bad that the in 2006 released Star Fox Command only barely sold 500,000 copies worldwide up to this date. Nintendo's attempt to save this with Star Fox 64 3D didn't bear any fruit either, as that didn't even reach 1 million copies to date. In 2016, Nintendo went on their last attempt to save the Star Fox series with their unique mechanics provided by the Wii U. But the combination of the Wii U selling very poorly, in addition with the Star Fox reputation, the limited hardware, and forced motion controls, the title failed like no other Star Fox title did before. It didn't even sell 500,000 copies up until this date. Not only that, but the NES Classic Mini provided that the console can stand on its own feet and doesn't need exclusive titles to sell well. So releasing the SNES Classic Mini with Star Fox 2 sure added some spice, but the console would have sold anyway. So Nintendo probably just didn't release a new title along with the SNES Classic Mini. It's also likely that they released the entire franchise with it. And unless some fancy new gimmicky toy gets released by Nintendo, this will probably be the last Star Fox title they released, saluting it one last goodbye as they turn their backs on it to work on more popular titles. Nowadays they give away the rights to developers like Ubisoft to use it in their exclusive games for the Nintendo Switch. But sadly enough, we think that this is the most Nintendo will do with the franchise now and in the upcoming years. Thank you for watching our little video in Star Fox 2. You already know the drill. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, watch some of our videos to cheer up because boy, this was depressing.